I've got the power. I am Carl, and I am a German Shepherd dog, and my sobriety is August 22nd, 2014.
I'm Lindsay. I'm an alcoholic, and my sobriety date is September 6th, 2015.
And this is SoberPod. Sober, SOBERPOD.
.com.
Soberpod.com. Yeah, Soberpod, keep it authentic, no facades. If it's real, then you know it's ours. Welcome.
SoberPod is a podcast dedicated to the idea that one addict or alcoholic helping another is crucial to building a life in recovery. And we've been doing that more recently with those anonymous episodes, which I think have been totally cool. So you can also join us, that is me and Lindsay, this season as we read from this book as well as her book. So this book is 366 effing days sober, and it's selling like hotcakes, by the way. I should tell you this. It's like I've gotten a sale like every day for like the last 2 weeks, which has been super cool. I'm thinking that it's like people are like, oh, Christmas present or something. I don't know what happened, but it got into somebody's stream of consciousness, and so it has been selling, which is great. And then your book, which is Spirit Vigilante. And you can get Lindsay's book by going to thespiritvigilante.com and then picking hers up as well. So Lindsay, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, Lindsay, if that's your real name, we've been absent from each other's attention. So what have you been doing? Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah. What are you really asking?
What's really going on?
Cut the crap. I just completed this magnificent training, kind of like a transformational training in Phoenix, Arizona. The basis of it is neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. So basically how we communicate with ourselves, how to change our reality, really, by changing our internal representations. And so I received my master practitioner certification for that, mental and emotional release, which is this breakthrough process of coaching, and hypnosis.
Ooh,
so
hey.
I have all
what are you
these
doing to me?
tools.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's right.
I'm feeling like tingly in my butthole. How are you doing that?
Stop.
Sorry.
But super excited. I feel like I just
mind.
keep evolving and adding these things to my toolbox. I'm a lifelong learner, so it's always fun to be immersed in intensive trainings like that. What have you been up to?
I have been doing the comedy, which is like,
Clearly right now, too. There's no off time.
Yeah, no, there's really no. Yeah, it's always on. There never goes.
No days off.
So no, I did like, oh my gosh, I did classes like every Saturday for like 3-4 hours for like the last 2 months, and then it culminated in a like a showcase, and then I got called to do like a kind of like a fill in for, because there was like a lot of rain here in Southern California, and then so they had to move days, and so then they were like, somebody panicked and said, oh, that guy, and then so I ended up getting called to do go down to El Segundo and do I'd like, I don't know, whatever, 10 minutes. And
That's
it was
so cool.
it was literally my first paying gig. Guess how much it was? Just take a guess.
What? $500.
It was $10. Didn't even,
But you know what? You didn't have to pay to do it.
Yeah, but then you know what I did? I was so thankful that I got called to do it that I actually just gave the dude $20 on Venmo.
Like, I pay to speak places, and I pay to teach workshop. I'm waiting for that to alchemize
to transverse the
but that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's more about the opportunity, right? And like exposure.
No, it's just the experience. I'm just happy to have the experience, to be honest. Just stand in front of people and tell people jokes about sending my wife dick pics is great.
Can only imagine.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It really was. So I've been trying to do that, and then again, I'm just going, still doing my other stuff. So, but you know what? People don't give a fuck about us. They don't care.
They really
they're just
don't.
like, they just want to stay sober. They're like, you know what, Carl? Like, fuck, I'm just skip 30 seconds, skip. You guys are still talking. Skip 30 seconds.
I know. We
You know
should
what I mean?
cut it all.
No, we'll leave it in. We'll let them work their thumbs. It's
Okay.
So, Lindsay, what are we doing here today? What are we talking about? What is going on, and why are we talking about this stuff? You know, it always gets me. Like, I feel like at some point, like, I've been doing this for 8 fucking years, and it is a lengthy deal, right? It's like, it's been a long haul for me. I tell you, I just got, like, doing those previous 2 episodes where the people were just anonymous. I actually really enjoyed just listening to 2 other people other than myself talk about getting sober and like just their story, and it was just nice, right? Because I'm like, one is it wasn't me, right? And so then
Or
and
me.
then yeah, right. And then I got to sit there and edit, and then like, you know, launch all this stuff, and I got to watch its impact as well, right? So it was super cool just to like have that. And by the way, so if you are listening and you want to do the same thing as those last 2 episodes, you can go to soberpod.com/connect and then sign up. I don't have dates listed there right now, but I will have more dates listed so that you can pick those dates. And how it works is you can actually just pick the date. Like that, you're like, I'm going to be on that whatever Saturday at 11 whatever a.m. And then so it worked out really well. Like the last 2 people just they booked like the half hour, and those 2 people equal that hour. So I just been like setting those dates as I move forward. If I'm like not busy on a Friday, I'll do it on a Friday. If I'm not busy on a Saturday, I'll do it on a Saturday. But yeah, it's been really fun and super cool to add those to the show, and it's been kind of neat actually. So
That's amazing.
So I don't know, Lindsay, if you ever like get a hair up your butt, maybe you can just be like one of those anonymous people. You know what I mean? I think that would be funny. I wanted to do it too. I actually wanted to like just hop on as an anonymous person. just
Like role playing?
Yeah, like my name is Bob.
Like in a trench coat? What type?
No, but like just like, you know, not come on as like, yeah, come on as myself, but just don't say it's gonna be me. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, I would come
Yeah.
on as a completely different persona. Like I would change my story, my name,
Yeah,
like
just-
alter ego Barbie would come out.
Yeah, some weird
Certainly.
background kind of thing going on.
Certainly.
I was
Yeah.
a circus performer when I was 12, shit like that. So Lizzie,
Okay.
so what are we doing today? Let's talk to these people about, like, I don't know, sobriety and recovery and, I don't know, living our
That
lives.
sounds like a cool topic.
What are we doing?
So I would love, I really like laying the foundation and grounding us by starting with your reflection. If you'd be so kind as to allow me to read November 24th.
You go for it.
All right.
Hey, you.
November 24th. This is from the book 366 Beautiful effing days sober. No excuses. Not today. Since you got into recovery, you have been given every opportunity to step into the life that the universe has provided you. In recent months, every opportunity has been shown to you on how to grow and thrive. This is the truth of it. Deep down, you know it to be true. No matter how many things have been given to you, you probably didn't do all you could to capitalize on these moments of opportunity. We all hesitate. We all sit back at times and wait for something better, or we think it's just not the right time. Whatever your varied reasons, the fact that we all procrastinate to a certain degree can't be dismissed. Today, your ability to enrich your journey of this life is completely in your hands and in your own mind. Again, no excuses. Today, get to it. Grow, thrive, get on with the business of living. Reflections. No excuses. Don't even think about it. No effing excuses.
Rawr.
That's how Carl would say it, except you.
Yeah.
would
No
actually
fucking
swear.
excuses.
There we go. Thank you. Daily challenge. Go where the universe takes you. Let it ride.
So is this, you know what I think? I think that this is actually like like the thing that you just did, like your certification for all that stuff, it's kind of, does this tie into that
It's
kind of thing?
exactly that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
It's exactly that.
That is hilarious. So tell me what I was gonna say what I can't say stuff because my mouth is terrible. My brain is terrible. I wish my brain would stop doing the things that it does.
What is it doing?
Well, it just says, so what tickles your anus about this topic? It's like, that's what it's, and I'm like, why do I have to say shit like that? Anyway, so what excites you about this topic?
So I want to explain it so basically this is kind of saying, what are you paying attention to, right? Like, are you noticing and being open to these moments of opportunity that are all around you? What are you doing about it? And so what I learned in my training, which is just like a scientific fact, is every second, we are getting 1 million bits of information, but our brain can only focus on 126. So thinking about what you're choosing as your 126 bits of information, because we get to actually change our perspective and change
So
what
out
comes into our
of
awareness.
the million bits of information, we're only focused on like, why 126?
Yep.
Why 126?
I don't
why
know.
did it go just
You
like
have
just
to
as
ask
a
a
number?
scientist. But yeah. It's just like basically your
I'm
perception.
sure it's a range. I'm sure
It's probably a range.
Yeah.
It's probably a range.
Yeah.
Carl gets like 2 bits.
Well, I got a bit, 1 over here, and I got 10 over there, and I got 2 up here. You know.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Basically saying, however, whatever you want to put the numbers, you're filtering your perception is your interpretation, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So how are you seeing these things around you, and are you focusing on the bad and all of the excuses, or are you focusing on the good and seeing all of the opportunities? And once you start setting intentions to focus on the good, focus on taking action, then you will start to notice those things more. So it's like changing the way you look at things, then the things that you look at change.
I think a lot of my book is about, like, you know, your perception becomes your reality, right? So, you know, it's so funny. I was just watching this YouTube video, like I do, because I go down the YouTube rabbit hole every once in a while. But there was a woman, she was doing like a short video, and she said something along the lines of, she had like brain surgery when she was like 14, and then she had like another brain surgery, and you know, and all these other things, and then and with the last brain surgery, she like lost her hearing, and then she, again I don't know if she had like brain cancer or what, I don't know what it was, but all I know is like at some point she just basically stopped and said like, how much is enough? Like I am fucking done. And and I can understand and get that to a certain degree. And so I understand like that kind of stepping back, and that's what this reminds me of. This reading really reminds me of that, like that moment when you decide to step away, step back, and then you're just kind of putting your hands up and you're saying like, fuck it. Like, fuck it for now. And it's this pausing, it's this moment of this, it's like it puts you in a state of like, it just pause. And so she was saying stuff like, basically just trying to give people motivation. She was like, so what it changed for her is when she said, like, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get on this thing, and I'm going to do whatever I can right now, as much as I can and as full as I can. So, and then, and that attitude and that behavior really pushed her to, like, you know, because again, she was all in that woe is me, why me, and all this other shit, and I could totally get that. And I was too for a very long time in my life, and that's what I think that this reading kind of comes from, is that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, but it's like I totally will. I mean, week after week, I'll fall into it, you know, and I'll constantly have to pull myself out and say, no more. Like, I can't do that anymore, because it will literally take me out silently, like secretly, like, you know what I mean? Where I won't even know that it's happening, because all the messages that come through of like, oh, just sit down, shut the fuck up, and sit back. Nobody wants to hear your shit. Go away. You know what I mean? It's a really weird kind of a thing.
So what do you think changed for you? What inspired you to take those actions you might have been procrastinating on before?
I think you said it when you started to share, which is to say you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're actually being sober is, they always say it's like a superpower, right? You know, it's like, oh,
it's a life hack.
I got a sober superpower, man. And what that gives you, what that affords you is not only short-term awareness, but definitely long-term awareness. And you start to see the patterns, and you start to see the situations for what they are. And then you really start to see, for me, what really changed for me is, and I know it's stupid, but you get all this awareness, and then you start to see things much more clearly and much more like, for me, it became like that. What is it when they like the positive thinking stuff? Like, you know, what is it? There's another name for it too.
Like positive psychology.
But it's like law of attraction. There you go. It's that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm glad I thought of it, because now I won't do the edit. So law of attraction is really weird. Let me just say, I don't believe that it's like voodoo kind of, you know, whatever, like I'm going to think positive thoughts and positive things are going to come. What I think is law of attraction, which is much like in design, right? In my area of design, visual design, one of like the first base rules is you put like elements with like elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really
like
about
attracts like.
Yeah. And so, and that's a real common, that's a real thing. That's not like it's like, that's how the world works to a certain degree, right? Like water pools were other water pools, right? Like that's how water works, you know? And, then, from lakes to rivers to oceans, blah, blah, blah. That's how that stuff works. So the law of attraction basically though is like, it is really harder to hold on to for me personally, because I believe it works the same way. It's like, the more positive I am, the more engaged I am on that level, the more that I seem to attract those types of things. And I think a lot of people do look at it as like incantation bullshit, like it's like this
manifesting.
Yeah, manifest. Like I don't believe that. I believe it is about being persistent and consistent with that type of attitude and that element, right? So that you're trying to maintain that and it's hard to fucking do. It really is, because because you get all angry or pissed off because something doesn't go your way, because of it's raining instead of the sun shining on that day that you wanted to have that event or do the thing, or whatever it is, and that really makes it difficult to participate with that positivity, because it's just not in my nature. It really isn't. And I don't know if it's just like, I see other people out there and they're, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, wow, they're really positive all the time. How the fuck do they do that shit? And how do they, I mean, they go deaf and they're like, they're still doing shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's such a funny example.
Well, no, I did go deaf, by the way. I lost the hearing in my left ear.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, and
Minor
that's kind of
detail.
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, right? But that's the truth. So then I go, well, shit, it really did suck. It really was like a real big depression. And I did that in sobriety. I went into the hospital with a I had an upper lobectomy, that lung disease. My lung was collapsing and I was basically fucking dying. And I'm like, every time something like that happened, I had to turn and be positive, and I had to go, I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to overcome it, or I'm going to adapt. I'm going to find a way to make it work and still continue to do the things that I feel like I was put on this earth to do, whatever that is, right? So that becomes like a law of attraction. That becomes like this really weird scenario. And if you were to be with me, and you don't know because like my hearing, like you wouldn't really know unless you spent time with me, right? Because I really do compensate very well. I have like learned to like read lips and do other things and visually look around all the time for things happening and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's like, and I'm still doing the things that I would want to do. I also lost my balance, by the way, in that same time. So I every day, I literally, it's almost like I have a 4-beer buzz.
Oh God.
Every day I walk around, I'm a little lightheaded, right?
Oh God.
And yeah, it can make you sick to your stomach depending on what's going on. If you're in a plane and it's moving and you can't do any visual reference, like it makes me sick. It makes me want to vomit, basically, because I'm like having like what do they call it? Vertigo, right? So that's a real strange thing to experience. But at no time did I ever say I'm just. Actually, I take that back. In that first month, I totally was upset. I totally was depressed, and I was like, "How the hell?" I couldn't even go sit on the toilet. I was like, I would fall off the toilet because I couldn't poop. Everything comes down to poops, doesn't it?
Always.
Always. So, but it was scary. And the other thing is, I just wanted to sit down. And then, my wife was a big part of that. She actually got me motivated. She's like, it's time to get up, right? It's like, if this is going to get better, it's you're going to start now or never, right?
Yeah.
And then, I was like, 3 years sober, I guess, when it happened. But everything I learned in recovery, I now apply to all of these elements, and that's basically what the reading is about, right? It's like, think about back to that moment, like when you're getting sober and you're like in that first 30, 60, 90 days, everything seemed really big, didn't it? Everything seemed like a huge hurdle. And you had to pull out as much like positivity, and you had to pull out like your courage and your bravery in order to just like fight your own mind to make it out of bed and not fucking drink that day. It's like, that's the same thing that I do every day today, but I just apply it to all the other things, So, sorry, I've been talking a lot. Oh my God, I just launched.
It's been so long. You have a lot to say. No, I have to believe that things aren't happening to us, they're happening for us, and that the universe is conspiring in our favor. I have to believe that because I've already seen it to be true. And even the events that I perceived as negative at the time or really difficult all shaped me into exactly who I'm meant to be in this moment. And because I now agree with that, the opportunities, like you said, it's really not that crazy of a concept. Like like attracts like is a very scientific model. So it's not so hocus pocus as people think. I mean, the things
I think people do it a disservice a lot when they try to explain like law of attraction. Because I've read up on some of those things, and it just what I see is what happens is you get a lot of the hippies. A lot of the hippies run around. They start crossing their legs and doing their tinky tinky whatever they're doing, and it just seems so weird. But
meditating.
No, they just get all.
I crossed my leg.
No, truly, I guess you know what? It's true. Yes, to a certain degree, when you are performative about the experience,
got it,
rather than being like using it as your daily life's kind of thing, then it becomes like, oh yeah, it's just like it's bullshit. Right. So when I see it being performed, when I see that stuff being projected and being performative, then I lose interest completely because dude, we're as addicts and alcoholics, I don't know what it is. Our bullshit detectors are just fucking so fine tuned, and we just know bullshit when we see it. And so that was kind of part of it. Is like whenever I see somebody pulling out that law of attraction card and like, oh, Carl, you don't know what you're talking about, and I know everything or whatever. And I would see these people, and again, they're buying into these other systems or programs, and they're spending thousands of dollars to go like rub elbows with Mr. Law of Attraction guy. And I would be like, what are you doing? Like if if it's just that, then why do you need to go spend thousands of dollars to go rub elbows with that dude? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand. Like, so because it's all performative, right? And it's all like a show. And I would see that stuff. And so what I did is I was like, okay, if this is real, then I'm going to try and apply it. And like you said, I saw it working in my life, right? I saw areas of my life where I'm like, oh, I've just, and even if it quote unquote didn't get the result that I wanted, it got the result that it deserved, right? Whatever that was, right? So, so there's a lot of that goes into it, and you do kind of like make your own, way with those things. It's just, I don't know how to explain that, but it's very much true. So everything that I did in recovery and early on along those lines that like supported that belief, I just continued to do that, and it seemed to work for me, right? So I guess here's the thing: have you ever applied that to areas of your life and saw a different result? Or was there a good example of that in your life where you were like, I'm just going to have this law of attraction work in my life, and I'm going to do it this way?
That's a really good question.
Well, you got the sirens going again.
I know.
Again.
They're coming to get me again.
Why Washington? No. That's what you get for being in the city.
It's passing.
I just had dogs and lawnmowers.
It gives me a chance to think, actually.
Yeah. So let me interrupt. So we'll do an edit here. So
yeah.
So Lindsay, have you ever, since we're talking about law of attraction, do you think that there's a good example of that in your life that like you could give to others about how that has worked in your life?
Absolutely. So for people who are, you're right, can't bullshit a bullshitter. So we tend to have very fine-tuned detectors for that. For people who are still feeling cynical about it, I just want to give one example of how this applies. So let's say you're thinking about getting a BMW and you just put that in your mind. You will see so many BMWs on the road while you're making that decision that you never notice. Be like, oh my God, everyone has a BMW or whatever car it is. So that's just the example of like selective awareness in this 126 bits that I'm talking about. As for the law of attraction, it definitely has, I think my whole life that I've built today is based off the law of attraction. I didn't know exactly what it looked like. I'm not the people asking for the red Mercedes, which is fine. If you are, people do attract very tangible things. And I've heard crazy stories about it. For me, it's more the bigger picture and like, show me my purpose, show me how I can be of service, show me how, give me a space to heal people. And all of that has come in the strangest ways that I never would have imagined and couldn't have planned it better. So for me, it's more those big pictures, achievements of questions I've asked and the answers becoming fulfilled in my life every day as I fine tune that. And with that, though, guess what? I have to be taking the action. So I have to say, show me where I am to be today and show me what to do. Teach me what I need to know. Show me what I need to see. Tell me what I need to hear, right? And I can't just let those messages come one in one ear out the other. I listen to them. And something about taking action, I just wanted to read from this book. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And it's scrolls, these different ancient scrolls, excuse me. And it kind of reminds me of, what's the one? Oh my God, The Alchemist. Kind of like that storytelling, but big lesson ideas. And so every month you read a scroll every single day. So I'm on scroll 9, which is the main mantra is I will act now. And this ties in with your reading that says like, no excuses, don't even think about it, go where the universe takes you. And so one of the quotes says, My procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear, and now I recognize this secret mind from the depths of all courageous hearts. Now I know that to conquer fear, I must always act without hesitation, and all the flutters in my heart will vanish. Now I know that action reduces the lion of terror to an ant of equanimity. I will act now.
No fucking excuses.
Yeah, same thing. That's Carl's Cliff Notes for this whole book.
Yeah. Just like,
but it's really cool. So I'm reading, that just happens to be the scroll I'm on right now. And I'm reading, it's only a few pages. That's obviously just a small part of it. But reading that every morning, I'm like, let's go. You know?
No, and I think we need some of that in our lives, but it has to be real. It can't be this.
Absolutely.
It can't be this fake shit. And I think a lot of the times in recovery, we get exposed to all this like fake crap. That's like I say, like somebody who's performative about the law of attraction. It's like, it's the same thing. Dude, I'll talk about examples. So I got 2 examples. One actually is this book, right? So I don't, people were not, I actually had to remove the episodes, but there's an episode basically where we're finishing up the 12 steps we did basically in 2019. And Lindsay, Chelsea was on the episode, and Chelsea says, so we all went around, all 4 of us, and we all said, what do we want to do? What is your next goal? Like, what is your next life goal? And then we were going to actually do follow-up episodes. We never did it, but we were going to, so what were you going to do? What was going to be your goal? I think one girl was like, she wanted to get promoted. Somebody else, I don't know what else the other person did, but Chelsea wanted to be a nurse. And then I said, write a book. And I had no intention.
Wow.
I hadn't even been writing, by the way, that at that point. I wasn't really writing like I do today as much. And then, and I had no, if you would have told me that this was going to be the book that I was going to write, I would have said, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I would have said, no, thank you. But what happened was that basically that law of attraction, I put it out into the universe. And then Chelsea, she said she wanted to be a nurse. She actually went and joined nursing school, basically, went through all that nursing school. She's now officially an RN. So she's a nurse in a hospital in, Utah. And so that doesn't happen for people like me. Like, I never in my life, and the only reason I know is because of doing this podcast, right? If I wouldn't have done this podcast and had that kind of,
you wouldn't have been tracking,
because we were both doing the podcast years later, and then we both went, oh yeah, like when I was doing the book, when I finished doing it, she's like, well, that's what you said you were going to do, right? And I go, oh my God, and you're a nurse. It was a really weird kind of scenario. So that's just one. Then the other thing was, and I don't really believe in these things, but I can't not dispute the evidence. So do you know they talk about like doing like what do you do like when you do your, it's not a mood board, it's a wish board, vision board, there you go. And I was like, I used to think these things are, again, voodoo bullshit. I fucking absolutely did not believe. So in 2018, this is probably when I was experimenting with all this stuff too. So 2018, I end up doing a vision board, and I just think it's bullshit. But I had read this book, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this vision board, da-da-da. And then sure enough, on there was like a new car, right? So, and then I had a new computer. And then of course, I had other spiritual things on there. Like, again, I was going to meditate more. I was going to do these other things. And that was basically, and I don't even know if the book was on there at the time. But all I know is I printed that thing out, and it was here in my little podcast. You could see it wasn't on screen, but I had that up there. And I literally, within 2 years, like 3 of the things that were on there, I definitely got all these other things, right? But I have a computer that I literally like built myself and did all that stuff. And that was all part, and that was an image on that vision board. And, as it's up there and I saw it, every time I came into this little studio, that stuff stays in your mind, right? That stuff stays in the forefront. And as much as, like, you can argue and say, Carl, you would have got a new computer in 2 years anyway. It didn't really matter, right? Or, Carl, you would have got a new car anyway. It wouldn't really matter. It's like you can argue all those things to say that stuff. But there's been times when, in my past, when I have wanted something like that, but it was such a fleeting thing, and it wasn't as prominent, or it wasn't visualized, and it wasn't expressed in that way, where I had written about it, I had taken the time to put together a board and find images and do all that other stuff. And I still think it's kind of bullshit in my mind. Like, it still happens, but I got to tell you, that evidence, to have it happen, is a little weird, right? I mean, not weird. It is like evidence. Right? So I don't really know how else to say that, but
I think it's really powerful. They say the conscious mind is the goal setter and the unconscious mind is the goal getter. So you're just telling your unconscious mind what you want. And if you let go of the how, the unconscious mind is like, I'm just going to get that. I'm just going to get that. It's just going to happen. Like, what's done is done. And I think that when you talked about writing a book, and also I do want to say, the unconscious mind doesn't process negatives. So if you're thinking what you don't want, for example, I don't want to get fired. And you're like imagining that happening. Well, if I tell you, don't think about a blue
Pink
tree, blue elephant, you're going to be thinking of it. So the unconscious mind doesn't do the negatives. It just, she wants to lose her job. That's what she's been thinking about. So let's lose the job, right?
Yeah.
So
but all you're thinking is, I don't want to lose my job. And losing the job is the thing.
So you're worrying about it. So so I just want to say that. So even if this stuff feels like a stretch to you, at least try to stay neutral in your thinking and not be worrying about what you don't want to happen, because that will happen.
I don't want a meteor to hit the earth.
Yeah. Truly. It's like very, very wild. But what I was going to say is, like, I've had those things too. And you saying that you wanted to write a book, did you almost feel like you didn't even know where that came from? Like, where that desire came from?
Let me just say, I save fortune cookies. I saved, and so I have a one book that I tuck them all into. It's like little bookmarks in like one little book. Ironic enough, the book that I tuck it into is Jack Kerouac, and it's the collection of Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac was the first author I actually read ever, like, because it was just it fit my sensibilities. Like, I just totally, Beat Generation fits my lifestyle, right, in that way. And so I used to, all the fortune cookies that I collected, and I don't know if it's just the ones that I got, the certain brand or whatever, the time that I got them, but I have like 7 or 8 of them that say, you are a lover of words, someday you will write a book. And so, and I just like have always held on to those, and that's just it always comes to my mind. And so ever since I think I got the first one, like when I got the first one, I was like, oh, you're absolute, I will do that someday. Thank you very much.
Right.
And then of course you get 6 or 7 of them and you're like, okay, like there's a message in here. Like, I keep getting the same one that says, you are a lover of words, someday you will write a book. I'm like, how's that possible? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just keep getting them. And then, so I tucked those away, and it has just been, but no, never, I don't think at the time that I said it that I was like, I'm not like doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, but every time it came up, and you know what I thought it was going to be? Honestly, what I really thought it was going to be was like a children's book, because I do art stuff, and you know what I mean? I always thought, so I always look for opportunities to do children's book stuff, and I looked into, learning how to do all that stuff or whatever, but it never crossed my mind that this would be the book that I would be the first one. You know what I mean? Just never in my any wildest imaginations did I think that it would be something like this. It's very personal. It's very real. It's like, it's just different. So what about you? So you said, what was your example of?
Oh, I mean, just creating the life that I have, but I didn't necessarily put specifics on it as specific as you. It was more like, show me my path, show me where I'm meant to be, and then opportunities would happen, and give me a space to heal people, and then all of a sudden there was an opening, and
But-
now I run a wellness studio. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say.
great.
So you have like, but you've had physical things manifest basically out of that.
Yeah, for
out of that
sure.
kind of
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
I don't know what made me want to write a book. And sometimes when people say that, it's like, ask me my inspiration. The idea entered my mind, and so I wrote a book. I don't know why that idea entered my mind. That's why I was kind of asking you. Like, sometimes these things, they just come through us.
Mhm.
And when people say, okay, let me put it this way. If you have the thought or idea to write a book, because not everyone has that thought or idea. And there's a
Yeah.
reason it's in your head. There's a reason it keeps being brought to your attention, right?
Mhm.
And that's just an example, because Carl and I both wrote books, and there's like tangible things we can focus on. But anything that you want to do, any form of self-expression, when people say, I feel called, feel like I am called to do XYZ, and they're waiting for a sign, that's the sign.
And I think that's part of like the reading, right? Is it basically
Right.
says like, we all procrastinate, we all hesitate, we all like kind of wait for the starter bell, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
it says we wait for something better. We think that it's just not the right time, whatever the varied reasons. The fact is like it's like just you listening to this podcast right now is the fucking message. It
Yes,
is the
exactly.
it is the bell to start, right? And like if you've stumbled upon this and you're
Yes.
like, oh, I don't care if you're just the one listener that does listen. Thank you, by the way, for that one. but this is your call. So whatever that is, you're right. It's like, and it could be anything. It could be like, fuck. I mean, it could be adoption for that matter, right? Like it could be like whatever your calling is.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it is. And you're right. So I think one of the things that I wanted to mention in this whole topic was because how do you know, right? Like I do this. I try to stay positive. I do put like elements, blah, 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 law of attraction, also the bullshit. For me, it was, I did the step work, and I know I just heard a collective groan across the internet. So I did the step
About step work.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I did the step work, and I worked through a lot of the stuff. I did, step 4. I really did. I worked on the fears and the fear inventory and like all the resentments, and I did all the the sex inventories. I did all this stuff, and then when I got into step 6 and 7, I had I had my task before me, and my sponsor at the time, he was like, this is my second time I did this step work. My sponsor at the time, he's like, moving forward, it is your job to just stay aware. That's what your job is right now. He's like, step 6 and 7 is all about awareness, maintaining that awareness, and really paying attention, and just walking into each day, just making sure that you're making note of all the things that we have just reviewed, that we have just done, right? And now that you're aware, like you will have, it literally is the hardest fucking thing to do, is to remain aware, because you can get lost in your quagmire. You can get lost in the his and the her and the politics and the little fucking high school drama bullshit with your job or whatever the fuck it is. But it's like if you try to stay out of that shit and stay aware and really pay attention, you will find the things that we're talking about. And I'm not saying I got something. I'm not saying like I got something better or whatever. But what I'm saying is like my days have been enriched, motivated, exciting, called to purpose, called to do something more than what I have ever done before. Because what I did before was just fucking, I just got bounced around the walls of the world and I did not pay attention. And then now that I'm paying attention and I'm in awareness, that's how I got there. Is I was like, oh, like I did all this work to uncover, discover, and discard, and now I'm in a state of awareness. And maintaining that awareness is the hardest fucking thing you'll ever do, because nothing in this modern day society does anything to encourage this awareness. It does everything to discourage it. So that's the hardest fucking thing to really do. Writing that book was part of that awareness, right? It was like getting hyper aware and staying in that stuff. And I'm sure it was for you too. Like once you put that stuff down and whatever you're called to do too, right? So whatever that is for you, like that pulls you in a direction, whatever that's calling you, pulls you towards awareness even further, right? So not only are you aware that you need to do something, and that's great, but now once you move into that thing, whatever that is, then it keeps you there. And that's like so much more beautiful than what 99.9% of the world is not doing that, right? Everybody else is just fucking like, man, they just wake up, they put their shoes on, and whatever the day does, man, that's what they do, and they don't think twice about it. And it's kind of crazy. Do you remember being that person?
Oh yeah, and that's what was killing me.
Oh,
So I drank so much because my soul didn't want me to be that person. My soul knew there was something better. But what you were talking about discarding, that's exactly what I'm talking about with this, which bits of information you're focusing on. Because we delete, we distort, we generalize, right? And so when you say, first of all, Carl and I don't have special powers. However you define your version of success, if someone else has done it, you can model them and do it. Mm-hmm. So that's just a fact. Yeah. You are very adaptable. Your brain, we know your brain is capable of so many things you can't even fathom. So I used to put people who accomplish anything on this pedestal. And I remember the moment when I took them off the pedestal, and I was literally at an event where they were on a stage and it was like 1 foot taller, but I was like, the only difference between me and that person on the stage is like that they're making happen the things that I want to make happen.
They just decided to do it.
Do what they did. Like what a thought. But I really did think everyone just like started up on the stage, and they've always been that way. And then something else I wanted to say was the staying awake and aware. What is my book called? Spirit Vigilante. So staying vigilant, and not in a skeptical way, not in a cynical way, but as Carl said, staying aware, taking in the information that supports you, not the stuff that doesn't. There's plenty of those million bits out there coming at us from now so many different directions. And your reality becomes which ones you focus on and what you do with those internal representations, right? So your thoughts then become your beliefs, then become your actions, and your actions become your life. So be careful about how that transmutation process is occurring.
So funny for years. Like it's like, because I was getting into the AA way of life, right? And it is a lot of that too. There's a lot of law of attraction and positivity.
Of course, yeah.
And you know that song Franz Ferdinand, right thoughts, right words, right actions. Like I would literally just wake up all the time.
I haven't thought of Franz Ferdinand in so long.
Right thoughts, right words, right actions. Yeah. I fucking would totally, that was ring through my head all the time because it is true, 100% true. And I don't even know how to like how do you tell people that who aren't doing it, right? And then the other thing is, I think this reminds me of, I ran into a dude the other day. Saturday. I run into this dude and he, I've known him for now 2 years off and on, just kind of like in passing. Every time I run into him, he tells me the same problem over and over and over and over again. Do you know who, like, you know these people, you've seen them 1,000 times, but do you see them differently now that you like operate differently that way too? Like, cause I see him now and I just go, oh, like he's like stuck in a loop, and he is attracting that same problem over and over and over again. It's the same thing. And no matter how many different ways he says it, it's always the same thing. Right. And it's just kind of sad to watch. And did you ever, was that you yourself back in the day? Like, so even in sobriety, did you have a time when you did that stuff, like early sobriety, a few years in? Did you click it right away? Did you start to?
I'm sure I did. It was probably a lot less than before, but I was still in that victim mentality. And if we're in that victim mentality, we're only focusing on the ways that we were wronged, because we have to blame that for why we're living our lives the way we are. But then I just wrote a newsletter actually about this, and I had this vision of like, we all come into this life as just like a big slab of rock, and then experiences happen to us and we get like chipped away at, and it hurts. We can't really tell what's happening, but we get to decide what those carvings mean. And if we can see how they're actually shaping us, like they call, I've heard this term sandpaper people, who just like get on your nerves, but they're actually polishing you to become a better person because you're learning new lessons through them. So kind of
like
that
the Christian iron sharpens iron kind of thing, right? It's like that's a saying that the Christians say. It's like when somebody is like forcing you to be a different person because of their experience, because of the way that they're, I mean, I don't want to say it sexually, but the way that they're rubbing off on you, it's like, so, but you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, so I totally understand that concept as well. I'm sure other people do. So, yeah.
So it's like noticing the beauty in that, and how it's making you the most powerful, strong person that you can be, and that you need all of those etches, right? Like in your stone, because you wouldn't then have that feature. You wouldn't then have that sensitivity or that compassion, or know how to set boundaries if they hadn't been crossed in that way. So I came out with that newsletter today, especially because of this being the week of Thanksgiving. And I think having that outlook,
having relationships come into your life during that,
having like that outlook on relationships, it's almost like I want to thank all of my ex-boyfriends for what they put me through. Because I learned so many lessons, and like I do believe I've earned wisdom now that I would not have had. So
for sure.
That's just an analogy. I can view the statue as awful and ugly and broken and flawed, or I can view it as something beautiful, and that every single crack was meant to happen.
Absolutely. Stoicism has a really good metaphor for that too. It's like, that you're going to come across people that are going to be ugly, surly, and blah, blah, blah. They're going to be mean and whatever. But the fact is like they are exactly the same. Like we are the same in terms of our existence. You're just another divine spirit in the world, such as I am. And then we are like the jaw, like the upper and lower teeth, right? And when we come together, we chew the food. Like we both have our jobs to do, whatever that may be. We both serve the same purpose, basically. It's just so we're made to work together, and to go against that is unnatural, right? Just like and sometimes the things that are reflected back to us in people are exactly what we need to work on, right? And they show us, even if it's not those exact things, they're showing us a mirror of where we can do better. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. All right, Lizzie. So have we beat this topic up?
I think we've carved it up. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving / holiday season. I'm not sure when this episode's coming out, and just take one action. Take one small action, whatever you feel called to, even if it's just going 1 degree in a different way, and always trust your truth.
And I'm going to go with the daily challenge of go where the universe takes you and let it ride, because I think, but I'm going to add to that and just say, but stay aware, right? Stay aware of where it goes. So just to wrap it all up and put a bow on it. All right, people, that's it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and, I don't know, call your congressman. And then, Lindsay, what are your famous words?
I kind of wrapped it all in together, but trust your truth. Yep.
And I say stay active, stay sober.
See ya.
Soberpod.com. Yeah. It was a sight to see them. Breakfast with Sprite and Seagrams. Wrestling with my vices, exercising my demons. My blessings were blocked, so I never got the message. I'm stressing, I'm only 12 steps from an exit. Regret it, because my imperfections were perfected. I ain't run from it, I accept it and rep it. It's a badge to me, good stories come from a tragedy. And when you survive, the glory will come in Act 3. The wait's over, 366 days sober. Morning affirmations that can start the day for you. Use my favorite bookmark for a placeholder. Finish when the day's over, okay? Okay. Yeah, sober pod, keep it authentic, no facades. If it's real, then you know it's ours. Welcome.